Many people have asked me, what is hospice exactly? Hospice is caring about the individual as they spend their final days here on earth.
We provide the same level of care and compassion and concern that we would provide for our own family members because, quite frankly, they are our family members.
It's helping their family, grandchildren, husbands, daughters, cousins, wives, everyone, prepare you for that moment when you take your last breath. And it's a beautiful experience.
A lot of patients will come to us and they know that hospice means they're dying. And they say, what can you do for me as I'm dying? And I'm going to make them comfortable. I'm going to make them very comfortable. A lot of times people think comfort means just physical comfort, and that's not true. It's very emotional and spiritual as well.
I want them to feel better completely when I leave them. I want their pain to be gone. I want their mind to be at peace, but I want to touch them here. And that's the most important part of the job.
In my own personal situation, I'm dying of a heart condition, and they said that they had fine-tuned my heart and that they could do nothing more. And at that point, my physician said that I needed to come to hospice. In the last of your life, every nanosecond is so important, and they fill your life that's left with such joy.
My grandmother is an amazing woman. She's absolutely amazing. I'm 30 years old, and I will forever look up to her. The day I found out my grandmother was going into hospice, I was upset. I kind of equated it to her life being over. Like, they just pretty much cut it short.
My family was very concerned about me, but after I'm in hospice, they're sort of like breathing a sigh of relief. They know that my meals are there and I'm getting proper nutrition, that if I have a pain in the toe or an ache in the head, they will address it and take care of me.
Just through seeing her happy there and, seeing the way that they make her more comfortable, knowing that she can't be home, there's no place I'd rather have her being right now. Whenever I go into hospice, and just watching my grandma interacting with the people that work there, she knows a lot about their lives and they know a lot about her life. And I mean, she's made some, in what I would consider to be some pretty solid friendships.
The first day I met Ruth, I think we formed an immediate bond.
Well, Mary, in my mind, exemplifies what hospice is, caring. And it takes a special person, I think, to work in that situation and face things that are, for most of us, unpleasant.
Ruth has taught me a great many life lessons. The most important is to not be afraid to experience it. Yes, you are going to be hurt at times because you will develop relationships that end. But what a joy it is to have developed them in the first place. She's engaged in living.
I said that to the nurses when I came to hospice. I said, I didn't come here to die. I came here to live until I die. And they make living such, so much easier at this time.
The underlying principle behind all of our lives is our spirituality. It is a joy to work in an environment where we're allowed to experience that spirituality and deal with it very openly.
The Christian aspect makes me feel that they understand where I'm going and what it's like to be facing your God.
Hospice has helped my family cope with my grandma's illnesses, and ultimately, we know where she's headed. That's why she's in a hospice, and eventually she is going to pass away, and that is hard for us.
We don't stop loving our families. We love them desperately. Sometimes we're not able to communicate that love, but you feel it. And hospice, God bless them, are there for your family. And when the time comes that you die they are going to be there for your family.
Bud was a very energetic, hardworking man. He was an electrician on the railroad for 44 years.
My father's passions were sports, sports, and more sports.
He never missed very many sporting events. He was always there. Bud had Parkinson's for 14 years, and it started with a hand tremor, slight hand tremor.
He went through all the different phases of Parkinson's from the very beginning.
Well, then he walked with a walker, and finally it was, the last couple of years was all wheelchair. I was his only caretaker. Then we finally got to the point where we had to do something. I couldn't do everything. I couldn't lift him. I got so tired.
She didn't know what to do. She just knew my dad needed to be taken care of, and she didn't have the energy to do it.
He just wanted to stay at home. He wanted the family around. And he wanted me around. He was used to me.
Bud and Doris were, the first time I met them, she had a whole list of things that she needed to talk to me about. And as we sat there, I think I stayed for almost 2 hours that day, and I realized that she had been an incredible caregiver for this person and needed help desperately.
I was so relieved to have hospice take over for me because it was such a relief immediately that I had somebody else I could call on. I had 2 daughters out of town, and when they knew that hospice was with us to take over, it was a good feeling for them. They were really comfortable with hospice.
And it freed us up to just spend time with our dad, to talk or, visit, read him a book.
And that's one of the things that's very important when you're from out of town. You want someone to be there that's familiar with the surroundings, with your father, with your mother. And the staff seemed to come in and they took care of my mom, and then they took care of my dad. They did both.
I've never been so welcome in anyone's home as I was in the Cameron household. I've never felt so loved and so appreciated.
Ellen, that came at the very time when my father died, just seemed to be just the person that we needed at that time. And she would just take my mom's hand and say, "You can take as long as you want. This is a very special time, and we don't have to hurry through this."
I thought it was awesome. I felt like she was an angel, it was like she came in and she was there for us, and we didn't have to worry.
Some people you meet and right away this person could have been my friend forever, and I wish I'd had more time. And when he died, that was exactly the way I felt, like we hadn't had enough time. I could have stayed with him forever.
I think Bud's biggest concerns included having Doris and his daughters taken care of. And I think with hospice involved, he was able to know and be comfortable with the fact that they were taken care of and they would be taken care of afterwards as well.
They help you face it. They help you get through those days. And you might not have them real often, but you will have them. And it's nice to have someone see it through.
If I were to go through this process again, and if I had something to offer to someone, we just knew that we wanted him to be cared for with love. We wanted someone to be gentle, someone to be hugging him, someone to be touching him. That was very important. And it was obvious from the first phone call that I made that that is what they were going to do.
Hospice is wonderful, and it's so good. It's that last hug, and we all need it.